all of us talking and sharing with each other. Welcome to this new day, to Sunday together. Whether we're here in this circle or online, welcome. As we seek to be spiritual seekers united in community, we celebrate that we can be spiritual seekers, but there's something special about being united in community. And we've learned over the last few years that community takes many shapes and forms. We always knew this, but it was reinforced for us that we can be community if we're at home, in front of a computer or a TV. We can be community if we're connected in ways that are meaningful, even if it's not on a Sunday morning. We can be connected in the beauty of nature. We can be connected in the realm of ideas. Community if we're at home. We can be connected in our spirits, whether we're in the same room or not. So we gather together as community, and welcome. Welcome. We do a lot of things together. We work for justice and peace. We seek to deepen our sense of understanding of what it means to be fully human. And we do a lot of work to see and rehearse the way we want to be in the world. And so if that's what it means to be community, to make a difference in our lives and in the lives of others, to see the world a little bit better, and to appreciate the beauty of a garden, a rose, a dandelion, a forest tree, then we've done something positive for the day. We're called to strengthen and challenge each other. We're called to go deeper. And as we gather this morning, may we be filled with an awareness of our oneness, open to seeing with deeper vision, with awareness, and knowing that together, as communities, we are growing in our care and compassion for each other. In this time, we light our candle. I thank Heidi for helping us to do that in the midst of community this morning.
Good morning. Here we go. We light this candle as we do every time we meet together. The same light that shines in our universe, in the celestial objects, both ancient and near, that shines in the lives of those past and present, shines in each one of us. This is a light we cherish as that which symbolizes all that is sacred and meaningful as we make our way together. This light reminds us of our strength and significance, connecting us to those we've loved, those with whom we share our life, and those who will carry our light forward for others. May we be reminded here of our most worthy aspirations, inspired to bring our gifts of love, compassion, and justice to our humanity. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in body, spirit, and mystery to the universe, to this community, and to each other.
We have this faith. Good morning. My name is Ruth Stevenson, and I'm the co-chair of the committee that's called Moving Forward Towards Reconciliation. So I'm honored to be doing the land acknowledgement today. I just thought that I'd mention that land acknowledgements aren't new. It's a traditional part of Indigenous protocol. I learned this when I was working at the Stollery Children's Hospital and the University of Alberta Hospital. We had 2 Aboriginal helpers there, and they taught us that this is what Aboriginal people do in order to get to know each other. They want to know where you're from, who your people are, so they can know you better. I'm always learning how to do something better, and I found a great 5-video blog at the University of Saskatchewan website, and it teaches you how to make your own land acknowledgements. So I encourage you all to have a look at it and make one for yourself that you can put at the end of your emails or something. So my acknowledgement comes from me via my residence in different provinces of Canada, Ontario, Manitoba, and Alberta. And I come from Scottish and Ukrainian ancestry. And I've been a member of the United Church when I was born. I've also been a member of the Moravian Church, and now I'm back in the United Church. And I've had experience of the world as a nurse, a chaplain, a canoeer, and a camper. So today, I'm honored to acknowledge that the land I now live on is part of Treaty 6 territory. This land was the ancestral homeland of Cree, Dene, Anishinaabe, Saulteaux, Nakota, and Blackfoot peoples who were displaced and dispersed by the arrival of European settlers to Turtle Island. I admire and agree with the Indigenous worldview that the earth and all of its creatures are a sacred gift to humans from the universe, and that we, humans, are totally dependent on this gift. As a settler, I pray that we settlers will learn to respect and care for this sacred gift that is literally the ground of our being, so that it will be able to continue to nurture all living things.
Breathe.
moment to share all that is happening and is going to happen in the life of our community. If you have something to share this morning, you're welcome to come and share it with the community. It offers us a chance to say thank you for all the ways you give, with your time, with your support, your encouragement, and your offerings and donations. Thank you. If you'd like to donate today, there's lots of ways to do it in the boxes at the back of the room, or online, or by e-transfer. We thank you for all of the ways that you contribute to everything we do. I want to mention briefly for those of you at home that gather in the post-gathering reflection time on Zoom. It happens each and every Sunday at about 11:15 Mountain Time, and you're welcome to join. I'll just make sure that you know that about 2 weeks ago, this has been in the newsletter, but about 2 weeks ago, we had a change in the Zoom link. So just make sure that you're checking your most recent newsletter or going to this website on the screen, and you'll find the link that will get you to the right place. All is in place for us to gather next Sunday for our annual September Welcome Fest. It's a time to reunite, to reconnect. Many of us have been here through the summer, but lots of folks that have been away or have been busy doing summery things, it's a chance to come back and reconnect with each other. So come for a interactive and fun gathering next Sunday morning, but also stay for lunch, food, fun, activities, things for kids. Lots of things happening outside after our gathering next Sunday. And if the weather doesn't cooperate, we'll just continue the party in here, no problem. So spread the word that next week will be a great time to be together as community to launch our fall activities. Kids Spirit will begin next week. All of our children's activities will happen during our gathering as well. Oh, there's lots happening. This is a memo from your librarians, from Ken and Ellen. They want you to know that the library has been recently updated. New books in the collection, reconfigured collection with now new sections on both an Indigenous section and a 2S LGBTQIA+ section. With lots of interesting material to find in those and other places. So please check out books from your library. There's lots of amazing things in there. I'm just going to keep on rolling. A new opportunity that we're going to call Resource, because there's a lot of resources that we have in our life, but do you know what? Our number one resource is each other. The wisdom we share with each other, the connections we have with each other, and this is an opportunity on a weekly basis, Thursdays at 6, to just connect with each other, to have some conversation that might be quite meaningful, or maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I will facilitate a conversation each Thursday at 6. Whoever shows up, it'll be a great time to just connect. We'll meet. We'll talk. We may have a topic, we may not. We'll let the topic evolve, and it's just a place to connect. One of the most important things we do as community. So whether you're feeling like you want a conversation, whether you're feeling like you need some company, whether you want to explore how we're living out the values and the wisdom that we explore on a Sunday morning, those are all things that we can do together on a Thursday. It'll be 1 hour. So you know you won't be here all evening. It means that if you're part of the choir, you could come and then go to choir after. That works too. All is possible. Ruth, I'm calling you back. Come on back. Through the month of September, we've been hearing various new things from the Moving Forward Toward Reconciliation Committee, and we thank you for contributing again this week. Thanks, Ruth.
Thank you, Chris. This is a very busy month for our committee. Pardon me. As a lot of you know already, September the 30th has traditionally been Orange Shirt Day, where we remember especially the Indigenous children who were forced into residential schools. But in, I think 2017 or 2019, I forget which one, our government decided that September 30th would also be the Truth and Reconciliation Day, where we recognize the work of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee and their 2015 report. So I think that was a perfectly stupid move on the government's part, if you'd like to know my opinion. And so our committee has been wondering how to keep both things alive. So we decided that September 24th would be Orange Shirt Day. And that's what we'll do. We'll remember the children that went into residential schools. But of course, the Welcome Fall Fest also comes in September, so that nixes next week for us to do anything special. So today it's going to be crammed into the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and also to the remit that's coming up for the United Church. So sit back and I'll give you a little lecture to catch you up to date. I'm going to try and be very quick about this. In 2015, it's when the Truth and Reconciliation Committee put forth their 94 suggestions as to how Canada could be a better country. And there were 4 calls to the churches within the calls from the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. The first call was for an apology from the Pope. The second call was for churches to educate their members about colonization and the church's role in colonization. Pardon me. The third call was for churches to respect Indigenous spirituality and the church's role in creating a lot of conflict within the Indigenous community by their missionary work. And the last one was a recommendation that with Indigenous organizations, churches establish permanent funding for community-controlled healing and reconciliation projects. In 2016, the United Nations declared their Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and that was adopted by the United Church. In 2018, within the United Church, there was a group called Caretakers of Our Indigenous Peoples, and they made calls to the church as well at the 43rd General Council in Oshawa. I have printed out those calls to the church, and I encourage you to read them. And you can also find them on the United Church website. I'd like to read just a little bit of what these calls to the United Church were. Our own Indigenous understanding of the Christ story is what we need. We are Indigenous nations, tribes, confederacies with clans and elders. Creator has placed us in our sacred lands and taught us to harvest food, just as the first humans in the Bible. Our ways of seeing and being in this earth are much like the Hebrew people. We can hear creation and have learned from all of our relations, the animals, the water folk, the plant families, our mother, the earth, etc. We hear in the groaning of the earth the sufferings of Christ. We feel the preciousness of life and the sanctity of our love in our communities inland. Part of our work will challenge the colonial vision of Jesus and Western theology. Our Indigenous languages, ways of life, spiritualities, and connection to our traditional lands will be restored. We are finding our own spirituality and Indigenous understanding of Jesus and his work in our communities. We will see through our eyes who Jesus is and decide for ourselves what this means for us as ministries and communities of faith. We are thankful for our roots in the work of the church in our past, but we will shape our future through our own perspectives. The Spirit gives us authority to do this, and we will listen to our siblings in the larger communities of faith. So in 2022, that's last year, at the 44th General Council, a motion was made to remove any structural barriers within the United Church that would prevent the development and sustaining of an autonomous national Indigenous council within the United Church. Therefore, that would require a change in the basis of union when all those churches united in 1925, I think, to make the United Church. So then a remit or a vote is needed. And that vote will be made next year, I think, or in 2 years. I can't be sure, but it's coming. So the remit approval would allow an autonomous Indigenous church to be doing its work. There's lots of information on this on the United Church website, and I'd encourage you all to have a look. There is a vote coming up next year, and every United Church congregation has to vote on that remit. And now we'll show a little clip of a video that is on the United Church website to hear the voices of the Indigenous peoples in our church and what they feel they're needing. So without further ado, I'd encourage you to read lots, and in November and October, we will have some information sessions on this remit that's coming up.
There was 150,000 of us, of our people, passed through the doors of that residential school. The teachers were mean and beat you if you didn't follow the rules. Many didn't make it home after residential school. And the ones that survived were changed forever. We were about 5 years old. We were picking up the children to go to residential school, loading them up on a bus, bringing them to school. It will be long and hard road to regain the trust that was lost. But we're open to have that reconciliation to make our community strong. Trust is lost. Even our own people distrust each other. But we got to build that trust and that relationship. And they got to help us. We're not begging for it, but they should honor it and wrap our people up with strong love and compassion.
It's the courageous who are willing to step forward at a time of great risk and change to say we must do something differently. Because if we want a different future, you can't repeat the past.
Reconciliation is a big, big word, but nobody's doing anything. We haven't changed the dialogue in over 100 years. We're still in the same place, and we're still listening to our elders share their stories of grief and trauma within the residential school, but we're not hearing.
This conversation is still going on in the country. There's a lot of, reconciliation is a very contested idea. And so there are still many who equate reconciliation with, if I could put it this way, peace at all costs, with just sort of Indigenous people should reconcile to, rather than us working to reconcile with.
From the time that the first apology was made in 1986, people have been saying, all right, well, we hear the apology, but in terms of accepting it, we need to see it acted out. And part of apology in the theological tradition is atonement. This is really what we're talking about. It's atoning for the sins of the past.
And I think that the idea of resistance is recognizing that reconciliation, the reconciliation journey, is not about finding the new recolonizing ways to we'll have an apology and we'll do this, TRC, and we'll have all these things, and then it'll all be good, and we can feel good about that. It's not, reconciliation to me has never been about that. To me, it is about the idea that it is a decolonizing struggle.
Reconciliation is a hard word to swallow, but it's facing towards it. Saying sorry is not quite enough, but they have to recognize the wrong. To recognize the wrong to make it right. Recognize taking away is to provide elders to come to the schools to help the language, the culture, the song and dance, and provide it for equivalent of the years they take it away from us. And that's the start of reconciliation.
We're going to have a time of all ages now, and we're going to do something on the carpet here. We often do something on the carpet here. But if there's anyone coming from the back room, we're going to give them some time, but we're going to sit in a circle. The carpet is a circle, so we're going to sit in a circle. Come on, kiddos. We're sitting in a circle today, so find a place around the edge. Nice. Okay. Ah, yes, perfect. There's lots of room. I want to sit in a circle because circles are important. I hear more footsteps. Is someone else coming? They can come if they would like. When you come to this place, do you notice other circles other than this carpet? Are there more circles around this place? Look around, see if you see anything else that's a circle. I just don't know what it could be.
I could see something.
What is it?
The picture on there.
Oh, well, yes, our Time for All Ages picture is like the circle of the carpet circle, yes.
And,
What am I?
circle from the candles.
The candle
the
is a
table,
circle. The table is a circle. Okay,
drum over there.
okay. Did you come in the front door this morning? You did. Did you notice that whenever you come in the front door, there's like there's a tree and there's a sculpture of an eagle? Have you ever noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
You have? Did you notice that that is in a circle? No, you didn't. Well, now when you leave, you're going to. Have you ever been over there, like past the door, and there's a garden with a big rock in the middle?
Yeah, that's a circle.
That's a circle. Have you ever noticed, now it's not a complete circle, but have you ever noticed the way the chairs are set up in here?
Half circle.
It's a half circle, yes.
Moon circle, I guess.
A moon circle, semicircle, a horseshoe circle, whatever it is. Circles are important because, well, for lots of reasons, but they make it so that we're all able to see each other, and they make it so that there's not one person that's more important than anyone else. Oh, good, good, good.
It's like everybody's getting the same amount of attention.
Oh, yeah. I can look at all of you, and you can look at everyone. It's really important. And that's one of the things that we learn from our Indigenous friends, is how important circles are. They help us listen, and they help us talk. They help us respect each other. We're going to sing a song, and everyone's going to help us sing it, but we're going to sing it while we're in a circle, and everyone here is in a circle. And it's not a song about a circle, really. It's a song about the world and what we need in life. We need love.
We need trees.
We need trees. We need
plants.
rain.
We need lots of clean air.
We need clean air and sun and a song in our heart. I bet you didn't think of that one. We need a song in our heart. So, this is a song by my favorite Raffi, and we're going to sing it all together. Oh, we forgot food. We need food. Yeah, we need food too. Okay, so let's go for it.
Oh, all I really need is a song in my heart. Oh, I remember that one. Good.
All I really need is a song in my heart, food in my belly, and love in my family. All I really need is a song
We're done with our circle. You can always stay here, but you can go do some other fun things if you'd like today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for singing. Bye. Here's a reading for today. It comes from an interview with Forbes magazine with Brené Brown. We're in a spiritual crisis. The key to building a true belonging practice is maintaining our belief in inextricable human connection. That connection, the spirit that flows between us and every other human in the world, is not something that can be broken. However, our belief in the connection is constantly tested and repeatedly severed. When our belief that there's something greater than us, something rooted in love and compassion, breaks, we are more likely to retreat to our bunkers, to hate from afar, to tolerate bullshit, and to dehumanize others. True belonging is not passive. It's not the belonging that comes with just joining a group. It's not fitting in or pretending or selling out because it's safer. It's a practice that requires us to be vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and learn how to be present with people without sacrificing who we are. If we are going to change what is happening in a meaningful way, we're going to need to intentionally be with people who are different from us. We're going to have to sign up and join and take a seat at the table. We're going to have to learn how to listen, have hard conversations, look for joy, share pain, and be more curious than defensive, all while seeking moments of togetherness. True belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging does not require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. In these words from author, researcher, and speaker Brené Brown, may we find wisdom for our living.
Let your love be genuine. Despise what is destructive. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with affection of friends. Live in hope. Outdo one another in showing honor. Be patient in difficulty and persevere in integrity. Bless everyone. No cursing those you dislike under your breath. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Weep with those who weep. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be haughty, but make friends with nobodies, without claiming to be a great somebody. Do not insist on getting even, but take thought for what is noble for everyone's sake. If it is possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. In this reading from the Christian tradition, may we find wisdom for our living.
We're going to enter into a time of sharing as a community where we will have a chance to share our joys and concerns, our passions, our sorrows, all that life is about. And we do that as a community so that we might better live into care and compassion with each other. As we start that journey with each other today, it is an opportunity for us to honor the life and the death of Don Sawyer. Don died on Friday, and we remember Don as a quiet presence in this community, and along with his wife Hazel, who died in 2020, we remember them being just a loving and caring couple involved in this community for many, many years. And so we will honor Don's life in a memorial service that will take place this Friday, September the 15th. All are welcome, but we don't quite know the time yet. So stay tuned to probably a special newsletter that will come out this week, letting us know what time we can gather here in this space to honor Don's life with each other. And so in celebration of a life well lived and the achievement of his death after many years and the last few with quite a struggle, we remember Don with our community's honoring of him and us together in song. So I welcome us into a time of sharing. Those things that lift us up into our days of joy, and those things that weigh heavily on our hearts, for ourselves, for the world, for each other. We'll share those thoughts and our hearts with each other, and we'll invite you to the microphone. And after each shares, it's our custom to end our sharing with, "In this sharing," and we will all respond, "May love abound." invite those of you joining us at home to participate as well. If you have something to share with us, please text it to that number that you see on your screen, and we'll make sure that we read it and we share it with each other, because our hearts are together with you as well.
For my coworker and his wife on the loss of their beautiful daughter Maisie in childbirth last month. May love abound.
In this sharing, may love abound.
Hi, I want to share the love, caring, laughing, sometimes tears with friends, and the help a lot of my friends give me. Without them, I don't know, I couldn't live anymore. So, this congregation is what keeps me alive. Thank you.
In this sharing, may love abound.
I had the opportunity yesterday to meet with my extended family. We've been meeting for years, and it was my generation that was gathering everybody, but we reached the point where that didn't happen anymore because the main person moved away. So it was the next generation that had to take over. So the last time we met was 2020. 2023, the next generation took over, and we had a get-together, and everybody that, when they left, said, see you next year. So I think they're stuck with it. They're going to have to keep on doing it so that we have a gathering every year. But it's really neat to connect with people that we hadn't seen, to watch the young people grow up and move into the business world. And so many people were saying, I remember when you were, and we told the young people that were there, you'll be saying that too in a few years. That's the way it goes. So I really appreciate the fact that I have so many families, my family here, my Square Dance family, my family at my extended family, and I am the senior member of that family now. I don't know if that's an honor or not, but that's where I am. Thanks. So what am I supposed to say? In this sharing,
may love abound.
Yesterday, I attended the celebration of life of a very, very dear friend. Lucy Chang was a member of a Malaysian family that emigrated from southern China to northern Borneo. Her father worked for Shell, and as a benefit for the families who were employees of Shell, Shell provided the English form type of schooling for the employees' children. Lucy was a very remarkable woman. She and I first met at library school at the University of Alberta here. At that time, Lucy was divorced from her husband. they were separated for 14 years and then remarried. And when I first met Lucy, this was an extremely difficult time for this woman. And I knew that the family wanted me to speak because my great gift from Lucy was inclusion in her family. And I didn't want to because I didn't know. I was trying to find a way around this ugly separation, and I didn't know what to say. Well, anyway, I finally came up with the women's liberation movement. Because this was so painful. But I talked about the women who were in the school between 1986 and 1990 and how we were affected by the women's movement that started in the 1950s. And a lot of us were reading Betty Friedan's book, The Feminine Mystique, which was published in 1963 as a backlash against traditional roles. And we were just starting to understand that we had a right to personhood and that we were the ones who had to give ourselves identity by who we were and what we did. And we were just starting to take on this attitude, this stance, this recognition of our own personal worth that we had to act on to give ourselves. So anyway, I rambled on about that kind of stuff, and I finally got through it. But Lucy had a master's degree in horticulture. She was the president here in Edmonton of the Edmonton Horticultural Society, and the board members that she worked with were there at the celebration. And Lucy was also one of the judges who went across Canada judging communities in bloom. My dear friend died of cancer in the most sad way. There were a lot of tears yesterday. I will never forget this dear friend, and I thank God for love because I shared that with her family, and they've been so wonderful to me. In this sharing, may love abound.
Morning, everyone. I just want to share, I have this very dear friend of mine. She's also my accountant, and we communicate a lot. She loves driving. Her father retired and decided to move to Mexico because life is too hard in Canada. So she also bought a place in Mexico, and she goes back and forth. It takes her 5 days to drive there. I'm like, you're my age, and you go there, you drive for 5 days alone? She came back in July, And she was only here for about a week and a half, and her father fell. So she had to drive back to Mexico. We communicate all the time. She sends me pictures of her having breakfast and the good food in Mexico. And yesterday I didn't have my phone for a long time. So in the evening I decided to check my phone. And I said, oh, I haven't talked to her for 2 days. So I texted her and I said, I said, oh, how is Mexico? How is Papa? And she said, oh, Papa is getting better, but my son just passed away. I didn't know what to do because this is a 41-year-old son who had cancer. But we thought he was getting better. She had to go to her dad, who yells at her all the time, who belittles her all the time. She feels guilty that she had to go to this father who doesn't respect her and left her son dying. But thank God to technology, she was able to be with her son to the end because she was able to use the phone and be with him all the time. Now, while she was doing that, her husband was in the same hospital where her son died, having his dialysis, which he takes 3 times a week. She's right now with her cousin, who she can't stand. So they're driving 2 cars because they can't be in the same car. Because I had said, you know what? I will send you a ticket. You're in Mexico. You can't drive. I'm going to figure out how to get money to buy you a ticket to fly home quickly. She's like, no, unfortunately, my cousin is here. We're driving. I'm like, oh, that's nice. You have company. She's like, no, she's driving her own car. So I think we talked about family today. The people we love the most are the ones who hurt us the most, are the ones who stress us the most. And I think also as we get older, as we get sicker, we don't have a lot of patience. We lose it on the ones who are there for us, who love us the most. So for all of us here, I just want us to be a little patient to those young ones and the ones who take care of us. And, but, you know, it's okay to scream because that's the way that's the only way we release our whatever is going on through us. So I just wanted to bring my dear friend to this congregation, which is home for me, for us to pray for her as she drives to Edmonton in this sharing.
My name is Graham. I'm a new member of this community, and I really enjoy it. I'm standing up because of, I think your name is Ruth, who talked about reconciliation. I spent the last 13 years or so in connection with alcoholics and addicts. And this is in Windsor, Ontario. A lot of the members there were Indigenous people. When I say a lot, I mean, that sounds like it's a greater portion, but there were a few there consistently coming through, but the numbers were significant and their impact on me was significant. And our sort of policy was to keep talking to people, share one-on-one with anybody, but then of course I would share with these Indigenous people. And the magic that came from them when they shared, they opened up for me a completely new world of spirituality. And though I don't call myself spiritual, this is just an issue of definition, but I sense that their spirituality is totally different from ours, ours being essentially white Caucasian culture and concepts of spirituality. And I'm thinking there's a huge bridge to get across, to bridge the differences, to bridge. And this would be another barrier in our reconciliation, is to be able to connect with these people, because they will, oh, no doubt about it, they will widen our world. And so I wanted to tell you about the beauty. I cannot describe it. You actually have to listen to them to hear this beauty. The other factor is that I would think, why do they have this philosophy of life, this sense of spirituality, and yet they are broken? And I'm thinking, is this what we have done? This is what our kind of colonial impact is. And I was raised in Africa, and I was in the middle, a little tiny white man, but nonetheless I was part of that culture of domination and destruction and whatever. And so really what I'm trying to say is that there's immense beauty with these indigenous people. But can we bridge the gap? And Ruth talked about barriers and mentioning things like voting and things like that. And what's our vote got to do with building a bridge? And this is not a critical observation, it's a challenge. We have way more to do than just have the intention of absorbing or connecting with these people. And I think about their beauty and how much of that has actually been destroyed. And in the sharing, may love abound. Thank you very much.
I'd like to hold two situations in our hearts this morning, one very near and one very far. But I'm thinking of all those little ones in Calgary who are caught up in this terrible E. coli tragedy, and how their families and everything is just unraveling for them. Such vulnerability and such suddenness to have healthy children and then have them in critical service. So may we think of the professionals who are helping them, the families and the support people who are bringing them care, and the resilience and the strength that people are finding. And may those little ones know how much they are loved. And then I'm thinking of the people of Morocco caught in this extremely devastating earthquake. And may they too, may there be workers and the international community finding ways to bring them some relief. In this sharing,
sharing some thoughts from our friends who are online this morning. I believe this is from Nell. Remembering my brother Hans Owens, who died suddenly of a heart failure 22 years ago at the age of 44. In this sharing. And from Tricia Little, I would like to honor the life of Shirley Murray, a member of SSUC Saskatoon, who died in August at the age of 93. Nefesh Spirit, we're honored to sing for her near the end. Shirley was an active member of our community for over 30 years. She was a very generous, optimistic, joyful, and open-minded woman. Her loving and joyful spirit lives on in our hearts. In this sharing. and a happy note to Katie and Lawrence on their 40th anniversary. In this sharing,
the words of Brene Brown again. Our true belonging practice is centered in maintaining our belief in inextricable human connection. May the connection that we practice here as a community not only impact us and our families and our circles, but may it be the care and compassion that changes the world. May it be so. In this next song, Curtis Tufts, who I suspect is at home watching, Curtis wrote the lyrics of this song for his daughter Laura's wedding. But when he's shared those lyrics with us, there is absolutely no doubt that these words speak to community. They speak to who we are, and they speak to what a community ought to be. Let's sing together. And if we're able, let's stand.
So join me as we strengthen our intentions with the words before you on the screen. May the sounds of our lives be filled with melody and lyrics that affirm, encourage, cherish, and impact our world in positive ways. We those who struggle. We sing songs of strength in solidarity for those striving for freedom and safety, and those working for peace and justice. We affirm that we all have a part and are invited into the same. May we know that together, through our work, we can create music that will make the world more beautiful. As today's music comes back to our hearts and minds throughout the week, may we be reminded of the values on which we are centered, the love with which we live, and the rhythm of compassion and justice that direct the music. May it be so.
So let's all of us take the light of community into the places it's needed, into the places where whatever we find there, we will help, we will support, we will laugh and cry. Let's go in peace.